Hello. Today is Saturday, March 28th. Obviously, I did not record week 4. I did write it. I did my check-in, my journal as the book prompts you to do. But I do feel like I'm gonna go back and cover week 4. I wish I had done it. I wish I recorded it, but it is what it is. I'll do my best to recall as much as I can. I think I'll start with week 5 though, since it's fresh in my mind. Alright. I'm sure she's gonna ask if I did all my morning pages. Yes, I did all my morning pages. I always do my morning pages. It's, again, it's not hard for me. If anything, I have found a lot of solace in this, this re-practicing just this, what is it? This habitual writing. Yeah. I used to write a lot growing up, when I was in like school and stuff. Writing was my escape. Writing in my journal was my escape. And I used to write a lot, every day kind of thing. And once I left school, it really wasn't, as prevalent. I still wrote, but, you can't just be pulling out a journal while you're working, I guess. I don't know, yeah, I guess I also... Anyways, yeah. I have found, though, that... I find a lot of, it's not freedom, but sort of, like, I'm able to actually, like, dump my feelings out onto the page. Like, with this practice, this morning page practice, it's opened me up to just being more honest, like, in my journals. And because I'm a, spiritual person or whatever, and you hear spiritual teachings, where your thoughts, your intentions, everything, it plays a role, so only think good thoughts, constantly come back to good thoughts, don't, and it almost is like, you try to fight even acknowledging, it's like you're not even allowed to acknowledge, or you can acknowledge it, but, like, immediately correct it in a sense, and I always felt trapped in that, because there's just a lot. There's just a lot, that comes up, or, and even came up in the past, where I would constantly feel like I had to combat these things, and I couldn't confront them, in a sense. I couldn't be transparent about, this is the thought. So I did all my morning pages and they actually started to extend past 3 pages a lot of the times, or I would do my morning pages, but I would find myself going back to my journal throughout the day, or at the end of the day, or again, just when I was having moments where I needed to just get it out. I actually feel, release is the word that I was looking for earlier. I feel a release, when I write, whether that's the morning pages or just in general, when I write now. But I do think it's the morning pages ritual that opened the gates up. I do, and that's something that I've been noticing. I feel like there's so much more space within me because I'm able to just release and get the stuff out onto the page. It actually does feel like, for once, I'm getting things out of the way. And I have found with that, additionally with that, that my creative thinking is expanding. Even in the ways that I write my morning pages, I hear how I can better articulate what I'm thinking, the analogies that I'm using, the symbolisms that I'm using. They come to me a lot more naturally, you know? It really does feel like I'm I'm creating space, you know, within myself, which is really cool to witness. It's just really nice, you know? And yeah, with the whole week 4 thing, which I believe was, you know, the reading deprivation. Yeah, I wish I would have recorded that when, you know, when it happened, when I was supposed to or whatever. Yep, week 4, reading deprivation. Yeah, so especially in conjunction with week 4, I know the assignment said reading deprivation, but I wanted to take it a step further and sort of limit, you know, the technology, because I'm sure when the book came out, you know, technology wasn't where it is today, where that is the main source of distraction and comfort, etc., etc. So for me, I wanted to leave the gaps, you know? So if I'm in the shower, not playing music, not having a video, sort of filling the gaps all the time. When I'm eating, not having a video or, you know, YouTube, things of that nature. When I'm driving to work, just driving in silence kind of thing. And she, you know, she mentioned that, you know, you can do, of course, again, it was reading deprivation. So she mentioned, you know, you can do other things like listen to music and watch TV, but to be conscious about it, you know. But again, I even before I got this book, I knew that that was one of the weeks, and I knew that I intentionally wanted to use that week to limit external stimuli in terms of like technology and things of that nature. So yeah, and I feel like the first day or whatever, I was doing, not the first day, but the first part of the week, I was doing pretty good. I do believe I was doing pretty good. And again, I felt how the silence and the writing was creating space, essentially. It was creating space within me. I am gonna have to look back at like my journal. Or at least I want to go to the check-in for that week. Okay, week 4 tasks. Let's see. Nope. Oh, I actually started titling some of my morning pages, not after I've written them. Like the titles would come beforehand. It's something I used to do when I journaled. I don't know, like, yeah, a lot of, I feel the creative gears turning a lot more. I also want to, this is gonna be all over the place. It's gonna be what it is, whatever. It's my video. I'm allowed to do what I want. So, going off of last week's, not last week's, but week 3's ending, I started talking about answering that question, was there anything that was significant to your recovery or whatever? I started talking about how I had gotten some new equipment. I had gotten a new microphone and microphone stand. Uh, and when I got it, because I had been thinking about getting this damn microphone for a while, and yeah, so tax returns came in, and I was like, hey, let's do it, type of thing, and I felt really excited. I'm like, we're gonna do it, da 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 da. Everything's moving, the momentum. We're setting a lot of good habits in place, kind of thing. And now we're gonna have some better equipment. It was almost like an investment back into self, And then I got it, and then I started experiencing this like dullness, like the spark inside me when it pertains to music and creating music was dying. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, this is what? This is the worst moment this could have happened. We get a new, and it's almost like that voice in the back of my head is like, we just spent all this money, and it's not like it was all that money. It was like maybe a few $100s for the microphone and the stand and all that stuff. A couple hundred, few $100s, which wasn't bad. Oh, and I also bought a songwriting workshop course that I had been wanting, and thinking that I really wanted to buy, because it's by Adrienne Lanker, or at least she teaches the class, and she is one of my big songwriting inspirations. Like, you can tell with every song that it comes from deep inside her. It comes from the realest place that art can come from, essentially. And that is where I want to create from. That is where I want everything that I make to stem from, And I don't know if I started doing it that week, the course and everything. Maybe, I don't know. The time is just all jumbled in my head nowadays, but whatever. I probably did. Anyways, yeah, so I had gotten all this stuff, to, again, encourage and move forward that momentum in terms of taking action towards this dream that I've had for so long. I've had it for so long. It's the one thing I never let go of. The one dream I've never let go of. When I was asked what I wanted to be as a child, I knew that my parents expected a realistic answer out of me. A quote-unquote realistic answer. So it would be like, oh, I want to be a zookeeper. And in the back of my head, it's like, or a singer. Or a singer. I want to be a veterinarian. Or a singer. There was always that thing. There was always that thing that never would let go of it. Up until now, So when this sudden, is this even really what I want? Sort of popped up, it was kind of terrifying. And even if it wasn't, or, honestly, I think that even if I had came to the realization that apparently it's not really what I want, I still wouldn't have stopped. It's like I still have to do this, And I just don't believe that I would be given these songs and this fucking dream that I've had just for it to just poof out of nowhere. That would be... What kind of cruel game, you know, the universe, God, to do that, you know? That's the only sustaining thing about myself. Really. That's been like the only constant in terms of who I am as a person. So yeah, that happened, and I fought. I fought to reignite that spark. I was not going to let it go away. So I started just having fun with the music and not really prioritizing creating music, even though I was, you know, I did end up creating um, something new that I really, really liked, and I felt like it came, again, from that place, that deep place, that true place, the pit, the gut, the bottom, you know, of the well. And I think more and more I am reaching the bottom of the well, especially within this last week. I'll get to that later. Um, yeah, I, I'm definitely, yeah, I was able to come to something, but the writing, I don't think I would have been able to get past that uncomfortable feeling had I not just like spilled it onto the page in that moment. I was working on a song. I was recording a song that I've had for a while. It's one of like the oldest songs. It's probably not the oldest, but it's one of the, you know, it's one of those. It's the main one. I've recorded it before, but it's an old recording, and I figured, you know, I have a new mic, I might as well try to re-record it, you know. I'm gonna have to take notes on all this shit I want to talk about, because like more and more things, yeah. Okay, perfectionism. We'll get back to that. But yeah, so I was trying to re-record it, and I had spent the day previously just singing songs that felt good to sing, letting myself sing at the top of my lungs, and I felt amazing. And I've been doing like, you know, I've also been doing this fucking singing vocal exercise thing. It's called V60 or whatever. Great course. Love it. Anyways, as I've been doing it, it's like, you know, V60 is a 60-day thing. I'm on day 26. No, I finished day 26 today. But honestly, like sometimes I'll like go back to, I wasn't always doing it in order. So like if my voice was feeling fatigued, I would like replay one of the recovery day ones instead of doing the one for that day. Anyways, I've been doing that too, and I just wasn't seeing the progression like of my voice like I was when I had first gotten the course. Like the thing that drove me to buy the full course was that this person, Sahir Gaunt, whoever, I'm sorry if I mispronounced the name, but he posted the like first day on YouTube, and that was the only vocal exercise, vocal warm-up type thing that I've ever seen immediate almost results like in my singing. So I was like, hell to the yeah, I'm getting your course. Yes. And as I've been doing it, you know, and I've sort of been on this teetering thing where I'll get to like a certain day and then I'll And then I had stopped, and then I feel like I have to go back to the beginning kind of thing. I haven't been doing it anymore because I've been pretty consistent with it. But anyways, I wasn't noticing any drastic shift in my voice, in my vocal performance, and I was wondering if that was happening. And then I spent that day just fucking singing at the top of my lungs, and then as I was singing, I was applying, all the things that I was learning in terms of like, the breath control and things of that nature. And I was like, oh, I actually am, like, my vocal range is getting stronger and expanding, etc., etc., far beyond what I thought it was. I had just never, I hadn't, yeah, I don't sing as much as I used to. In the past, like every single day, I would be singing in the shower. I would sing as soon as, I would be singing when I got out the shower, and it was like I was constantly, I was just constantly singing. But more recently, it's like as time has went on, I haven't really been singing in the shower that much, and I think it's also because I don't like singing all the same old songs, the same old songs. I don't really have new songs to sing. Okay, anyways, yeah, I revisited a lot of songs that feel good to sing, that I like to sing, and I just sung the whole day, and I really felt like I tapped into that love for it again. Just the love for it. And, that was enough for me. So the next day, since I hadn't really, been recording or anything like that, I was like, all right, we're gonna record tomorrow. This is what we're gonna do. And I woke up the next day, like, wanting to do a different creative activity. Like, I wanted to draw and stuff. That's also something I've been getting more into. Like, a lot of my creative interests, my creative ranges have been coming out and being strengthened, So yeah, I woke up and I really wanted to like draw and do like physical art kind of thing. But I was like, no, we're gonna do music. That's what it is. Kind of thing. We have to do it. You said you were gonna do it, so this is what we're gonna do. So I went and, I started to working on that recording. And of course, because I was singing all day the day before, the top of my lungs, I wasn't happy with my vocal performance while I was trying to record this song. And I didn't know whether I should just, keep forcing myself to fucking sing, like keep recording the lines until you get one you like, even if you don't get one you like, kind of thing. It was like the more I kept trying to force myself to do that, the more the negative thoughts also started to spiral, where I was like really starting to feel disgusted at the sound, hearing my voice back. So I was like, okay, maybe we can work on something else. So I tried to do that, but before that I tried to give it another shot to just record the, I tried to just stick it through, and at a certain point I was like, this isn't working. And I don't exactly remember again the progression, but at some point I just grabbed my journal and I started like vomiting onto the page everything that I was feeling and just being honest. And she says that the morning pages are essentially a conversation between you and God, and that is really how I have been connecting with it these, past couple weeks. It has been the conversation between me and God. And it's not just me and God, but me and spirit, you know? I do believe that spirit is around me all the time. And I do believe that they're reading, you know, or they hear my thoughts as I'm writing it down. But yeah, I was just spilling the truth and I let myself cry and all of that. You know, I just was transparent. I was just honest. And after that, I grabbed my guitar. I felt pulled to get my guitar, and something came out. Something came out that I really, really liked, and it was fun. It was fun to expand upon the idea, and the way it sounded to me, it was almost like a championing, a championing, a championing, championing, championing. Why did that? Oh my, no. Okay, it's saying I have my storage is running. I'll have to clear some stuff out and come back. For now, we're gonna keep talking. But yeah, I felt like I was being the vibe of the song, of the music that was coming through. It felt like a championing, almost like a, it just sounded reassuring. And I don't feel like I've had this type of connection and feeling to the music that has channeled through before, where hearing it back, I don't know, it felt different. It felt different hearing it back, as like the certain parts were coming together and I was able to sort of get what I was hearing out onto the, into the DAW. It really did feel like a hug, but it also felt like an angelic choir. It felt like a hug, a personal hug. Like, what I'm getting in my head is like a fingerprint hug, if that makes sense. Like, a fingerprint is like so unique. So the frequency that was coming through, the music that was coming through was specific in that way, in terms of like, wow, yeah. It's like when you try to put magic or God into words, it's just not, it's not hitting right now. But it's like the music that was coming through, it felt like a hug. It felt like reassurance. It felt like a championing, of like a, you got it kind of thing. Like, and it was almost like I felt intuitively, the intention behind what was coming through, if that makes sense. And I guess, it only really has to make sense to me. Alright, I'm back. I have 32 minutes. Yeah. It felt intrinsic, like it, yeah, it felt like it came from a pure place. And it was explorative, and it's just, I really enjoyed it. I was enjoying the process, and I'd carved out a specific amount of time, and when that time was up, I didn't even really want to stop, but I sort of made myself stop just because I don't want to. I know I can, I sort of can go overboard sometimes in terms of like, I want to do everything right now. And then it's hard to be consistent, you have like a really good day where you work for hours and hours, and then and then you fall off the wagon kind of thing. And I want to be consistent. That is the thing that I want to be. I don't know if I did all my morning pages for week 4. Surprise, surprise. I accidentally broke my reading deprivation because, again, like, the way she described it was like read nothing kind of thing. Like, don't read for work, don't read for school. And then I had like this, again, I got the job, so I had like this onboarding paperwork that I needed to do that you gotta read. But then she's like, oh, well, pretty much in the chapter, she was like, we get around reading for so many other opportunities, creatively find a way to get around it, whether it's for work or for school or whatever. So I was just sort of skimming the onboarding paperwork. I mean, I'm sure I did everything fine. But yeah, so. Oh, and like, I accidentally, because I was in the habit of looking up the angel numbers that I would see. So, just habitually, I went and I Googled one of the angel numbers, and that was actually the first time I think I realized that I accidentally was reading. So yeah, but with that also, I started doing like my tarot readings without referencing the book. So it really had to be intuitive. You had to pick up on, or, lean more into gathering the message intuitively than, oh, I don't understand, let me go look for, what it says this card means in the book. And I found that I don't know, I found that it was slightly more difficult, but the more I gave myself time and stopped trying to think about it, that was the thing. Stop trying to think about it and just listen. Letting the message sort of come to me instead of trying to put the pieces together in a sense, if that makes sense. And I was seeing, or I felt like I was seeing and understanding the intentions of the message, and the nuance, I want to say. That has nothing to do with, creative recovery or whatever. Or maybe it does, because this is a spiritual practice. It's a spiritual practice, and I want the creation of my art to be a spiritual practice. I want it to come from that place, that true place, and I want to be committed to it. I want to be devoted to it. I want to honor it. I want to help people. I just want to do what I feel I'm here to do. I don't want to procrastinate, I want to do what I know I'm here to do. I don't believe I would have been given this desire, this dream, this passion, this love for music, for singing, if it wasn't what I was here to do, if it didn't have a purpose, And I know it has a purpose. And I think sometimes that pressure of, like, this could be important. What I have to say, these songs, they could really be important. And you're not doing enough. That's the core of the guilt that I feel, not being the artist that I want to be, not showing up consistently, I'm so grateful for the art, which I have truly been blessed, to experience. We need artists, and I have the opportunity. There's nothing in my way except me, and I know that. There's nothing else in my way. Nothing financially. I have all the equipment that I could need, May not, everything, but I have more than enough. I have more than enough. And yet I still feel like it's like that's the only thing to do now is just do it. And here we get to the other thing that I made a note of, the perfectionism. I think, oddly enough, I do have some form of perfectionism, but it's the fucking shitty type that makes you not want to do anything because it's not perfect. Instead of the type that makes you want to keep doing it until it's perfect. And I think I noticed that when I was trying to re-record this song. And that's what has kept me from releasing so many of the songs that I have. It's like, when I try to record it, it does not sound at all how I want it to sound. And, for a while I've just been thinking it's the microphone or whatever. I don't have good microphone or whatever. I don't know enough about producing or mixing and all of that to make it sound how I want it to sound. It's like, do I even know the sound that I'm looking for, or how, what effects I could use to achieve that? So I've sort of just been stuck in this limbo, and I feel like it's so important for me to just fucking get the songs out so that I can make new stuff. Again, with me writing and getting the stuff out, it's created space, and I feel how I need to let these songs go. And honestly, I'm getting to the point where I'm like, hey, we're about to just record it, and whatever it is at this point, because they just need to be out. They need to get out. And if that's what it takes, then that's what I'll fucking do. But then I also have the thought that's like, oh, if you cared about it, you would keep doing, keep reworking it until it's fucking perfect. And honestly, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna make the decision now to not fucking do that, because it doesn't work for me, man. It just keeps me stuck. And I don't want to be in this place anymore, where I constantly feel like I'm on the fucking threshold, but it's like I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, perpetually. It's like insanity. Every time I think I'm crossing over, it's like I don't know. I get stagnant or whatever. I don't know. I want to be on the other side already. I want to be the artist, I don't want to just be the potential anymore. I want to turn it into something. And I've been turning things into things recently. I've been turning things into things, Yeah, they just need to be out. I don't care anymore. And it's not that I don't care, but there's so many artists that I like that their recordings are clearly not perfect. And that makes it even more fucking perfect. Adrian Lenker, for instance. I mean, you can hear her smile in her voice, you know? You can hear that she's smiling when she sings, you know, her little giggles in some of her songs. Again, all these artists that it's not like their singing voice is immaculate, but it's perfect. It's perfect. Just the way it is. Because it's them, you know? Because it's true. Whatever it is, it's coming from the truest place. And I know that's all I need. I don't always know how to get out of my own way. One foot in front of the other, we're gonna keep going, we're gonna keep trying, we're gonna keep doing it. Somehow, some way, we're gonna get there. So it already is. And I think I'm just gonna fucking like I'm just not gonna care anymore. Not in a way of like, you know, obviously, or not obviously, but I'm just gonna, I'll try my best. I think they just need to come out. They just need to be out. I want to make new stuff. I want to make new songs. I want to expand. I feel like having all these songs from years, you know, years that have just been here that I don't want to let go of because I know they hold something powerful. Some of these songs, I don't even know where they came from. Like, it's hard for me to even take ownership of them because I did not sit down and consciously write these words. You know? The story that they're telling is not mine. There's no situation that spawned this song, you know, or not consciously. And a lot of the songs, I'm just like, there's nothing that I can apply this to. This story is not mine. And I feel like that is, again, evidence in itself that it's for somebody else. It's for some people. Like, and I feel it. I feel how these words, this melody, even though it doesn't apply to me, I know it will apply to somebody. This is somebody's story. And I'm fucking holding it hostage. Practically. And I hate that. I hate it. I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like I've taken advantage of the time I've had on my hands, you know? I've done a lot of inner healing and I'm still doing a lot of inner healing. It's not that I haven't been doing work all these years. And clearly I've been making songs, you know? They've been coming through. It's not that I haven't been doing anything. Maybe I just need to stop fucking telling myself that I haven't been doing enough. I don't know, man. I don't know. I wish I knew. Fucking fuck. Ugh. Did you do your artist date this week? Have you had the experience of hearing answers during this leisure time? Have I had that experience? So, this artist date, Oh, fuck, man. Oh my God, so much shit has happened this week. And I think, you know, it's also because I'm trying to cram 2 weeks into this video. But, okay, so I did do my artist date. I did it today. I did my task today. This week has been weird. My birthday was this week. It was the 25th. So, at the beginning of the week, I don't know, started off rocky. Again, it's like time and memory is just it's not sticking with me. But I just know the beginning of this week was like rocky. I don't know. Like, it was rocky. Stuff was happening, and I think, Monday was, the whole music thing. Yeah, with when I was trying to record the song and my voice wasn't there, you know, type of thing. But then I made the other thing that I really liked. And then I did a tarot reading that kept reiterating rest. I literally got the card rest and rejuvenate and a card that said take a break. So I was like, you don't have to tell me twice. I'll fucking take a break. Sure. Yeah. Sure. I'll take a break. And then, like, I think the next day, even though, you know, I was like, oh, I'm gonna take a break, I was like, no, I want to try something. So I tried to record. It didn't work out. But whatever. And then it was my birthday. And I went out with a friend and had this whole emotional experience afterwards. And like the last 2 days, maybe even up to today, no, it was the last 2 days. Last 2 days. Like that experience with that person, I feel so comfortable. Like it's like a soul level comfortability where I feel like not only am I seen by this person, but I don't feel like there's really anything I can do that will scare them away. It's like almost for the first time in my life, I really feel like I can just explore who I am and like figure that out in front of somebody and not have to worry about being judged or shut down, etc., etc. And they just really pampered me on my birthday. And I didn't want it to end. And I feel like that experience of that safety and that vulnerability being with them, it like opened some type of floodgate inside of me where like a lot of old shit that I thought was gone. Every time I fucking think it's gone, it comes back to the surface. And this is stuff I really like. We were really reaching like the depths of the well, like where all the fucking sediment has like settled at the bottom. And I really had no idea that stuff was still there. And it was all coming back up. And I remember, I think it was the next day. I don't fucking remember, man. No, it was the same day. It's my birthday, I think. I don't know. That's so fucking weird. Anyways, I got home and I'm experiencing all this like emotional stuff. Like my brain is going haywire and I'm realizing again like that all these old fucking feelings are coming back up and I'm like, why? You know? Like, yeah, I haven't, like, that was like baseline programming that was coming back up. And I guess, you know, it was all to show me that it was still there. You know, all this stuff that I thought was gone. It was still there. Blind spots. I was being shown the blind spots, which is a gift in itself. But my God, did I really feel like I was like mentally ill again? And I feel like, you know, like I've just been in such a place for so long now. It feels like so long. It's only been like, what, coming up to maybe 6, 7 years, if that. 5, I'll say 5 to 7. I don't know, I'm not gonna do the math. 5 to 7 years, we'll say that. That I've been on this like healing journey. And really, I've been at the place I am now for probably maybe the last 3 years, where it's really been like, oh, I'm on the other side kind of thing. So yeah, to like really, like to again feel like I'm perpetually on the other side, and then yeah, have all of this stuff arise, and then I'm not sure. I wasn't sure what to make of it, you know. I wasn't sure what to do with it. I was genuine, like, it was weird. It was weird because I haven't experienced this level of it in so long. And I think it's also because I haven't allowed myself. I've been, again, with this fucking spiritual teachings and shit, they, you know, they talk about the shadow, but they talk about it as if you're supposed to erase it, you know? Don't acknowledge it. Don't feed it, starve it to death. And I mean, okay, you know, I think part of that is true, you know? You can acknowledge it and not feed it, you know? You can acknowledge the thoughts and not act on them, type of thing. Yeah, they don't always phrase it like that, though. They just phrase it like, oh, just focus on the light. Don't even look at it. And, you know, I thought that was what I was supposed to do, even though that's never felt right to me. It's never felt right. So the past 2 days I've been on this emotional fucking roller coaster, like, dealing with the eruption. And it really was like an eruption. And it was crazy, and I didn't know which thoughts were fucking real, which feelings were real, you know, what I should do with it. Like, I was like, oh wow, this is how it used to feel. This is what I used to feel. Like, I've been so far removed from it. I didn't even realize, you know, that I guess I had gotten what I asked for. You know, I had been used to feeling abandoned and left out and forgotten. That was another thing. I feel like a lot of my family members that usually would reach out to me on my birthday didn't reach out to me this time. And I get it, it's a day. It's a day. Sometimes I forget other people's birthdays, you know. It's a day. But like, I was like, wow. You know, like, usually they always tell me happy birthday or whatever. So yeah, it was like a lot of, I guess, you know, what I realized from that is that I was tired in the past of, what is it? I was tired of feeling yearning. I was tired of constantly feeling like I was reaching out and not being able to, you know, not having somebody reaching back to me kind of thing. Like having that reciprocal exchange. I was constantly searching to be seen while allowing others to be seen, you know, through me, essentially. Seeing others. But yeah, you know, having that experience with this friend, be like literally being able to receive from this person in such a genuine and pure way, it sort of it opened the floodgates. It opened the vault, you know? And it showed me that those desires never went away. I just, I'm getting like this, it's almost like my heart calloused over, you know? And though I've grown a lot, I've grown through everything I've been through, and I do feel like I've gathered everything I needed to from everything that I've experienced. Like, you know, I got used to not having people, I guess, and I wished that I wouldn't have this desire to want people. I wished that I was okay alone, you know, that I really didn't care. And I got that wish for a bit until they arrived. But I think, again, this has served a good purpose too. It has shown me my blind spots and has allowed me to reconnect with the parts that I exiled. And, you know, again, I don't have to act on these thoughts, these feelings. I don't have to entertain them, but I can accept them as a part of me, you know? And I feel with that, I'm becoming a full person. You know, I'm becoming a whole person. And I don't want to reject the dark sides of me. I like them. I do. I find them interesting sometimes. Yeah. I like the seductive, you know, sort of mistress inside of me. My fucking camera's about to die again. But, okay, yeah, I guess I'll have to wrap it up. But, yeah, I've befriended and I've welcomed in that shadow, and I feel more and more like a whole person. And I do feel like, again, this is just the beginning of the becoming. I am the masterpiece and the work in progress. That is my new mantra. Anywho, did you experience any synchronicity this week? What was it? Try inaugurating? Blah, whatever. Yes, butterfly symbolism in the tarot reading too, with the whole take a break shit and all. You know, I've been playing over that reading in my mind a lot. I've been getting shit ton of butterfly imagery though. Seeing butterflies, not physical ones, really, but just butterfly imagery. Or even butterfly symbolism. People talking about butterflies. I think I saw like a butterfly balloon, or like I just being hit with butterflies. And I think that again is the transformation, you know, the transformation symbolism. Yeah, that was a big one. Was there any other issues this week that you consider significant from your recovery? Honestly, the whole floodgate vault thing opening, I do think that that is significant to my recovery, because I feel like the truest parts of me, that part that I want to generate my art from, comes from that place that's been underneath everything, under the sadness, under the anger, you know, all these shells of emotions. And I haven't let myself be honest about it because I didn't want to feel it. I didn't want the yearning for another person. I didn't want to feel like weak in that sense, you know, weak in that sense, essentially. I want to be the person that is a workaholic and can't help but fucking work. I wish I was that kind of person. I'm not. I'm not. I don't work like that. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not the perfectionist that has to keep doing it until it's right. I'm the perfectionist that fucking procrastinates because they want it perfect and they don't know if they can get it to that level, you know? So it's intimidating to even start. But I like what I'm uncovering here. My camera's gonna die, so I have to end it. But I think I am, in this whole weird roundabout way, making a lot of progress. I see it. I see it in my person, and that in my brain is always going to interlink with my creative self, the growth that I have as a person, because that's where it's all generated from. I'm going to leave it here. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next check-in.